So historically, we used to produce a lot of metals and minerals in Europe, but today we are probably producing something like 3 to 5% of the global production, and we are using in our downstream industries something like perhaps 25 to 30%. So there's a really big imbalance there that probably stems from us having made the decision to do the downstream industries rather than the actual upstream producing of metals and minerals, partly for financial reasons, partly for perhaps environmental reasons, but it's certainly something we have allowed ourselves to do as we have become richer.
So currently Europe cannot produce the metals that it needs. First of all, from a demand perspective, in 2020, Europe will sell about 1 million electric vehicles. And to sell 1 million electric vehicles, you need about 50,000 metric tons of lithium. Europe currently produces only 2,000. You need about 9,000 metric tons of cobalt, and Europe produces far less than that. The question is, can Europe bring on new projects online through exploration? And the simple answer is no. Why? Because operational and capital costs are quite high to develop marginal assets in Europe. And it's also very, very difficult to get the needed environmental permitting to start a new project currently in Europe.
In countries of the global south and emerging economies, mining is an important part of their GDP. Countries such as the DRC and Zambia have a high percentage of mining in their GDP in the value chain to actually put money behind that for livelihood. So number one, SDGs, stop poverty, is really important to relate to the mining sector itself and to fabrication and processing, smelting and so on and so forth. We don't want to transfer only to the European Union to have more mining. It needs to be transferred and transformed in those areas, more responsible practices and best case and better practices on the ground in the countries I just mentioned, for example.
If the reason for us not wanting to mine in Europe is that we are unhappy with the environmental impact, we should similarly take responsibility for the environmental impact where we are mining. So our industries that are consuming these metals and the end users that are using the products that contain the metals and minerals should start taking responsibility for how it has been extracted.
We need a free and prior and informed consent, which is, to establish bottom-up participation and consultation of, for example, indigenous population and so on and so forth. Only if we have all the arguments on the table, we can make a fair and incentive decisions.
When Europe moves, the world moves. And we've seen that in various industries, including the supply chain industry. And once Europe enacts the policies, the procedures, and the guidelines to ensure that minerals are responsibly sourced, from the DRC to Indonesia, all the way to the Philippines, there will be that change to ensure that raw materials needed for EVs are responsibly sourced.